When I look at our country and when I look at the status quo and the trajectory of what the next 10 years will look like if nothing changes, I'm terrified. And I think even as recently as 5 or 6 years ago, if we looked at our country then and had to imagine what 2025 would look like, I don't think many of us would have been close to the Australia that we now have to live in every day. And I think we can feel it slipping away from us at an ever-increasing rate. And this election is a crossroads. It is a fork in the road. And it's an opportunity for us to begin the political turnaround and to begin taking control of our country back for ordinary Australians, for common sense. On the campaign trail, whenever I meet anybody who I'm explaining our ideas to for the first time, almost invariably, they say some version of the words, "Oh, that just seems like common sense." And then, without me having to say anything, they laugh and stop themselves and say, "Oh, I guess it's not that common anymore." But I think it is still common. I think that there is a large portion of Australian society who quietly look at what's happening and what's being done in their name, and they feel very troubled and very uneasy. But they're looking around they're looking over their shoulder, standing at the water cooler at work or at their barbecue at home, and they don't know whether they're actually safe to vocalise these concerns and talk about what they're seeing and how they're feeling. They don't know whether the person they're talking to will denounce them and call them a cooker or say they're a right-wing nut job or any of the epithets that we've all heard when you're expressing a view that diverges from the sort of the message. And I think that those Victorians need a voice. I think that what Matt said is true. In Victoria, we are the closest to what Argentina was before the election of Javier Milei. I think that in Victoria, if we think of our political situation in terms of the atomic clock, we are 5 minutes to midnight. And soon Victoria's debt and interest repayments on that debt, which are now $1 million an hour, $26 million a day is the most recent figures for Victoria's state debt repayment. Now, I'm running for the Senate, so I don't have the ability to make inroads into our state debt, but federally, we are in not much a better position structurally, and there's very little stopping successive governments over the next 6 to 9 years from putting Australia in the position that Victoria is in right now.
Authorised by S. Payton, Libertarian Party, Docklands, Victoria.